It's the magic of the musicals on Broadway, and I've made my way to an incredible theatre, the New Amsterdam Theatre, which is home to The Lion King, which is one of the most successful musicals of all time. And I'm with the star of the show, really, Nala, and her real name is Kissy Simmons, and what a star you are. Thank you so much for talking to me.
You're welcome.
We just played there The Circle of Life, and I have to say two things straight away about this musical. One, it is the most beautiful theatre. Disney came in and brought The Lion King into the New Amsterdam and rebuilt it more or less. And we're sat here now in this area, the communal area where people get drinks at half time, and it is stunning. And the theatre is a performance in itself. It must be amazing to be in this theatre.
I love the theatre a lot. In The Circle of Life, you know, there is no better way to start a show. And that song just represents just this whole sense of pride. I love it. It's just mind-boggling.
It is incredible, and it's breathtaking to see it. I'm not going to give away what happens in that opening scene. We know there's animals because, of course, we saw the film. The DVD was released recently as a huge hit. This show's been on the stage for many, many years and sells out night after night after night. And people will know that it is a spectacular opening. I'm not going to give away what you do that makes it even more spectacular, but that is such a way to open a show, and you're sat there thinking, how are they going to be this? I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I don't want to give too much away either, but I mean, it is animals. You know, you do see the animals, but it's also very like human as well. And you make this correlation between the animals and the humans that portray these animals, and everything is just very connected.
This is an incredible show because you know that they're not real animals on stage. You know that they're actors on stage with costumes, but they do look like real animals, and you do believe in them very, very quickly. Julie Taymor, who did this show, and the people that put it together, did an amazing job. It's incredible.
Right. And that's one thing that she did want to get across. I mean, she didn't want to hide the human, but on the other hand, she did want you to see the animalistic character, and she did a great job doing that.
I think there are so many levels to this show. There are points where you want to cry. There are points where you laugh so hard you don't know how to stop. It is such a great show. And to me, it really epitomizes Broadway because it is faultless. This show is faultless. And I sat there watching this a couple of nights ago, trying to find something that I could criticize for balance. And I genuinely couldn't. Your voice is incredible. The rest of the cast are incredible. And the growl of the voices for the lions and things, it's really incredible. That must be all in the training and the rehearsal, is it?
I think so. And one thing about the show is that it just relates to all people from different parts of the country, young, middle-aged, old, and it doesn't matter, you know, what your ethnic background is. This show is just, it captivates every eye. And, you know, the rehearsal process, you are trained to be very animalistic, but you also are encouraged to keep that human aspect of it. And, you know, the movements are very animalistic. And it's just great to be able to move your body, you know, be very agile and cat-like or whatever animal you're portraying. You know, I'm a cat, so that's all I can speak about. But it's just great. It's very physical.
The great thing about this show is it so reflects real life, and it's a story about love and family and togetherness and community and, of course, the pride.
Yes, and you know, I think if more families were like the family in The Lion King, you know, the Simba, the Mufasa, the father-son figure that we have, the world would be just such a better place.
I was very blessed to work in Africa, in Nairobi, for about 8 months a couple of years ago. And I was very fortunate to meet the real Pumba, because in the Kenyan National Park, there's an actual plaque. He's in this little wooded area.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they did that. The Disney people went over and observed real animals. And you can tell that by this show, because it's so true to animal life as well as the human life, isn't it?
I guess. I mean, I've come into contact with a cheetah. And my whole idea of a cheetah was this big, ferocious lion type animal. And the cheetah is very sleek, very, very thin, and very fast. So, you know, I think maybe I need to spend more time in a zoo.
I suppose really you don't see too many giraffes walking along Broadway, really, do you, day in, day out?
No.
It's not a regular occurrence, I wouldn't have thought. Let's talk about you, Kissy, because you've had an amazing, amazing career so far, and it can only get better, really, with a voice like yours. How do you feel now? You're on Broadway in, well, really one of the most successful musicals, one of the most long-running in terms of Disney. How do you feel?
I feel very happy. It's just a great blessing to actually be here on Broadway. I started out doing, regional type theater, and, that was very great, but I always knew that maybe if I could just put my foot out there into like a bigger city, then I would be spotted by a casting director or maybe a producer, director, etc. And that's how it happened. I came here to New York City for the very first time, and I went to an open call, which is huge. I mean, there's so many people there, and out of all of those people, I was chosen to be Nala. And I mean, you know, what more could I say from that? It's wonderful to actually be here now, and I'm just wondering what my next step will be.
We'll talk about that next, because there must be a dream role that every performer has. But I want to talk about the nerve element of doing one of these open sessions where you're there, you're on stage, they say sing, they give you 30 seconds and you have to perform. How do you keep your nerve through that to perform brilliantly like you could in the real show? Because the nerves must get a hold of you.
Well, I had past performing experience, so I think that helped. And also I grew up in church singing, so, you know, I've had the experience of actually putting myself out in front of people. But at the audition, you know, I thought that I was going to be accompanied, and it was a cappella. And then, you know, after they like you, they move you to a different room, and you're seen by the casting directors. And, you know, the main thing is you just have to have confidence and believe in yourself. And I knew that I didn't spend my money for nothing to get here to New York, so I was just going to put my best foot forward. And that's what I did.
When you're singing there and you're looking at their eyes, can you tell whether they like you, or do they not give anything away, the producers, the directors, the casting people?
I don't look at them.
Is that the truth? Is that the key to it? Don't look at them? Is that advice for people who want to do Pop Idol and things? Don't look at Simon Cowell?
I don't know if that's good advice or not, but no, I don't look at them in their eyes. I just pretty much do what I know I can do and go from there.
I was reading your biog and also the piece in the playbill for The Lion King, and you thank God at the end of your little piece about what you've done and where you go. Do you thank him daily? Do you think he gave you the gift from birth?
That's what I believe, you know, that's just my opinion. But from my upbringing and my whole spiritual belief is that I think that God has helped me, and he's provided the opportunities to come along, and I'm here because of my spiritual belief, and I'm thankful every day, every moment, because it could have been someone else, but it's me.
How do you cope with that, night in, night out? The fact that it is you were chosen, you were deemed the best person who came of the thousands of people to that audition, that you were Nala, you were the best person that could take on this role. How do you cope with the pressure? Because there must be a pressure.
I cope with it by simply having fun, simply going out there, doing what makes me happy. And I couldn't have a better job in the whole wide world. I mean, being Nala in Disney's The Lion King is something that I just truly enjoy doing. And I think that it shows because I feel it.
Are you like most performers, that there's really nothing else that you could do other than perform and sing?
I think that I can do plenty of things. I mean, I play the piano, but everything revolves around performing. I mean, I was an athlete growing up. I went to college on a track and field scholarship. So I think I'm a well-rounded person, but when it comes to performing, that's just my life. Even my everyday life, I'm always performing.
You just enjoy it.
Yes.
Kissy Simmons, thank you so much for talking to me today. The star of The Lion King on at the New Amsterdam Theatre here on Broadway.